Staffy's going to join us on the show now and give us his opinions. How you doing, mate?
I've been better. I've been better, Terry.
I hear you. You sound really disappointed. What's up?
Oh, I just became a meme on my first live stream on my channel because some guy that I haven't heard of until today just dunked on us on the far post in the last 3 minutes of the game. You know what's funny, Terry? I was making fun of him in the comments. I was just saying, "Oh yeah, I don't know who this is. This guy's a Spanish farmer." And then he just comes out of nowhere with the stone cold stunner in the last 3 minutes and absolutely dunks on us after like a disappointing game already. Absolutely shocking game by most of our players.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. Just want to respond to Rowan here. I did say there's no friendlies when Man United are playing Arsenal or Chelsea or Liverpool. I didn't mention when we're playing Real Madrid. So again, you try. Listen, people, when you take a shot at the king, don't miss. And I hope your girlfriend's not watching Rohan because she'd be leaving, bruv. She'd be leaving. She's walking out. Even if it's the middle of the night, she's going to go, right, I'm going back to my dad's house. I'm leaving. Don't embarrass yourself, my friend. That's not what I said. No, I hear you, mate. That overhead kick at the end, it deflated me. It deflated me. I was like, oh, no. Like, because I thought we had a chance to equalize, and I didn't want to lose the game because I
think
do
we
take the
played better
result.
in the second half. Yeah, we did absolutely play better, but it wasn't good enough. And that goal, as you said, it absolutely deflated me because I was hoping we get a goal in the last minute. It still wasn't going to be a good performance because a lot of these players didn't play good enough today. But to lose it absolutely like that, and it looked like Madrid. I don't know about you, but it didn't look like they came out of first gear, in my opinion. It looked like they were cruising the whole game, didn't really have to do much. And then in the last minute of the game, they're like, you know what? Let me give something for the fans, and scores an absolute world class goal.
Do you know, for me, so I saw it a little differently. I kind of looked at it as we both. You got to remember, it is preseason, so that no one's playing. I think they play at 100%, but you're only doing it for certain periods of time. I thought we did really well at times against them, though. We won the ball back well at times. We maintained possession well. We worked that. I mean, when they were pressing us at the back, because of Onana, we were able to pass around it pretty well. I thought we had some good. So I think we kind of nullified them at times as well. Like, we know how good Vinny Jr. is, and he had some good moments, but it wasn't like he didn't have anybody on toast today. So I think we did well in periods as well. It was two high quality performances. I just think the difference between us and them was, again, I mean, the goal shouldn't have. the goal actually shouldn't have stood, if we're being absolutely honest.
It was offside, right? Because I kept saying
offside. But yeah, I'm kind of happy with elements of the game tonight, not with others. I wanted to ask you about your thoughts on Onana and because obviously we're seeing some people say that he could have done better for the goal. I'm seeing a lot of people in our comments tonight saying he wasn't very good this evening. But what did you make of Onana's performance?
What did he do that wasn't good? The chip was world class. It shouldn't have stood, but there's nothing he could do at this point because he has to come out. But Bellingham was very intelligent, and that's a world class player to finish like that. So you can't take anything away from the goal. And then the second goal, he's being left at the far post alone. Decides to go for an overhead kick. There's nothing he can do about it. How is he going to anticipate where the kick is going to go? So as far as the goals that conceded, there's nothing he could have done. But he did make a good save in the second half on the other post, actually, and it was also from Joselu. He was also left on the far post, and then he came out and made that save with his leg. He made that save in the first half from Vinny. So in terms of goalkeeping, as in saves, he actually did. He saved the shots that he was expected to save. Now, what he was very good at, as you said, his distribution today was amazing. He gives us what we've been talking about this whole time of the signing. He's playing higher in our half. Like, there was a point where, remember, where he was standing next to Delo and Maguire, because he's like, no, you guys move up. This is my position. When the ball gets recycled, I'm here. You guys should be a little bit up higher so I can pass it to you. So the guy's been amazing in terms of positioning. Every time he got the ball, he picked the right pass. And whenever he gets pressed, at the end of the game, for the second goal, I think he dropped one of the attackers. I think it was Oselo. He tried to press him, and then he faked him on his left and then went on his right and then picked the pass. Amazing goalkeeping, a goalkeeper. He did everything he was supposed to do today. It's disappointing that he had to concede 2 goals, because on another day, if we win this game, people would be sitting there highlighting how amazing our goalkeeper is. But it's unfortunate for him that he conceded 2 world-class goals.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I don't really put any of them down to being his fault. One was offside and shouldn't have stood. The other, a few people in the comments have said he should have made an attempt to save it, but I want to say this with absolute respect. That tells me you've never played football, or and
100%.
that you've never been in goal, because there's nothing he could have done. He was caught. It weren't even caught flat-footed. That actually sounds disrespectful. It was just impossible to get to that ball. And there's no point. Like, some goalies do it where they kind of dive for things they're never going to get to, and it looks like they're trying. But
Where's he going to dive? Does he know where it's going to go? If someone's going for overhit a kick against me, Terry, where do I even go?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I was happy with that. What was your thoughts on Mount tonight? 'Cause he's getting a lot of stick for his performance. Well, I know you're not someone who's a big fan of him, so I wanted to ascertain, like, what did you make of what he did?
I think he was invisible, Terry. He's done nothing in the first 60 minutes that he's played. He had one chance in the box and he completely miskicked it. I need to go back and watch a replay because I didn't see a replay of that. I don't know why he missed it. He had that one chance in the 6-yard box and he missed it. Other than that, I mean, his presence on the ball, I already know that nothing's going to change about that. He's not going to come into this team and all of a sudden he's going to become an amazing passer. But off the ball, when you get these chances, when you get a half chance like that, and you make these late runs that we signed you for and stuff like that, this is when I expect you to do something. But he's really done nothing. But I'm not going to blame him alone because the whole team, I'm going to be very honest, was shocking today. Rashford was absolutely abysmal. I think Rashford didn't even try today. The couple times he got the ball, I don't know what he was doing. Bruno was very wasteful with the ball. So the people around Mount that are supposed to be better than him weren't actually doing what they're supposed to do. So I understand Mount had a bad game, but even I know not to really criticize him the most this game, because he's done nothing that I expect.
I hear you. Like, do you know what it is with Rashford? Rashford is very good on the left-hand side. The problem is he's not a very good number 9. He's up against Real Madrid, and it's not his position. He's just not that great at it, which is why, if I'm going to criticize the manager today, it's you've played Sancho in the false 9 role twice.
And then
it was almost a case of start him again but put Rashford in his strongest position. Equally, put Bruno in his strongest position. Those little areas I think would have made us a better team today, and that kind of frustrated me a little bit that we didn't get to see that. The next mistake from the manager was definitely when Mainu comes off, and I was so gutted to not get to see him play. I was so intrigued to see how he would come up against, on that side of the pitch, it would have been Tchouaméni. And you just think that's a real good acid test. And 2 minutes in to go off injured was crazy. But to bring Eriksen on into the middle, again, what you should be doing is maybe bringing on Sancho or Anthony, putting them on the right, Bruno in the 10, Mount in the midfield. That's what I would have personally done.
But I'll tell you what, Terry.
You need the energy. You need the energy.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'll tell you what. He wanted to try something, the manager. And losing a personnel doesn't mean that he's going to change the formation after 1 minute. So he went for the next sub that made sense. He still wanted to go with that formation. So he brought on the next personnel that could come on. Yeah, he wasn't going to give up the formation right away.
That's a great shout. I'm judging it as a game I wanted to win, as opposed to, again, this is the one thing I was saying to Arsenal fans the other day. When, it's great to beat them, but you can't go too crazy with it, this is the time to try things out and make those mistakes. You don't really want to be getting to the first game of the season and go, right, we're going to try an experiment today that we've never tried before. Cam's with us as well. How you doing, bro? You good?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. It's nearly 4 a.m. and I don't know when I'm going to get any sleep, but it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, man. So I had a little argument. I missed what Staffy you guys are saying, but I'm going to say what I saw, which I actually had no problem with the way he played today. I think to call it shocking was wild. I think in the second half we were the better team for a lot of the game. Weirdly enough, I agree. Rashford looks out of sorts against good teams at striker. It's not really his position. And up against Rudiger, I forgot how good Rudiger is. I'm not gonna lie. He cut out a lot of what we did today. Honestly, Garnacho looked a little too hyped up in moments, but he took his man on multiple times. He beat his men multiple times. Garnacho on another day scores that ball that he puts on his right foot. If he keeps it down, he scored. We've seen him score that goal multiple times now. We had multiple chances to score, so I'm very shocked at seeing we were shocking today. I don't think we were.
You
amazing,
don't think
but
the first half we were shocking, Cam? You think we had a good
shock? I think shocking is an absolute exaggeration. I think we played.
Cam, we couldn't make
teams in the world. So
Cam,
we were playing against an overloaded midfield. First off, everybody's talking about, oh, it's really tough for us to keep the ball in the midfield or whatnot. First off, our possession in the first half was 51%, so it wasn't actually that bad. possession wise. If you're gonna use that number, as the possession is something that is a stat that you can track, basically saying who had the ball when, right? Yes, Real Madrid had the ball probably in some more dangerous positions, but they overloaded their midfield against us today. That was a very clear thing that we saw today. Both of their goals that they scored on us, let's be honest, one was we were on 10 men, so there was a ton of space, and they played that perfectly, and AWB played him onside. If AWB steps 1 foot on that goal, never happens. So the trap was off. That's realistic. That was the biggest problem on that first goal. Like, tell me something else. Tell me what else went wrong on that goal other than being 10 down and them having the space and AWB being just slightly out of position. It's not like it was a howler of a mistake or anything. It was a very well played goal by them. So I'm not saying they weren't better than us, but you saying that we were shocking is an absolute exaggeration.
We were shocking because when I talk about the first half, if you name me everyone who played in the first half, other than Onana and Varane and maybe Lisandro, I can't name you anyone that played well. Garnacho was overdoing it. So many unnecessary step overs, and that's what I was worried about this kid. He's doing all these step overs for no reason. Okay. Rashford was doing nothing, but then you guys said he was playing in the middle. Vinny was playing in the middle, but every time Vinny got the ball, he knew when to go wide.
Vinny was playing off the left. He was playing.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He was playing. He was playing a top two. Him and Rodrigo. Yeah, they go wide.
Split wide though, but they were split wide.
Listen, just two strikers. No, hold on.
No. Just
you're not letting me talk. No, you're not letting me talk. When there's two strikers, I understand you don't just play as a central lone striker, but his positioning starts central and he goes wide. Every time Vinny got the ball, he looked much more dangerous than our star player. Our star player is Rashford. He gets the ball and he doesn't do anything with it. And this is my frustration with him today. He looked like he wouldn't be bothered. Well,
so to be correct, so what you just said there, so Vinny is more naturally a left-sided wide player, right? And what you said is what I just said. They split out wide. Vinny was getting the ball in his most natural positions.
No, but he got it in both positions. That's what I'm saying.
But when he was lighting us up was from the left. When he was making
because he knows when to go wide, Cam. That's what I'm trying to say. He knew when to split up.
But Rashford wasn't playing with a split striker. He's playing by himself as a lone striker. He's not meant to go occupy Garnacho's space.
You can still go wide. He's played in this position multiple times. He's played in this position multiple times.
No, but this is. But
what do you mean? You can interchange.
Real Madrid, no, but that's not clearly that wasn't the game plan. Garnacho was staying wide the whole time. He was not.
All right, so when I say the game was shocking, instead of complaining about one or two players, you can admit that the whole team was shocking. Because even Bruno,
I don't think the whole team was shocking.
Bruno was out of position. Yes, I get that. I can't say that he didn't play shocking. He played bad. He was really bad off the position. Why he played Bruno there, that's a different
Bruno
story.
On the right, I will say this right now. Bruno on the right.
I don't want to see that again.
I will actually say that. So
I need to stop seeing that.
I disagree with you, Bruno on the right. But I think when you use a word like shocking, it means
Cam, I think we were shocking.
We were giving up
giving up the ball so much. You know why, Cam? Because this is only their second preseason game. This is our fourth. We've played 2-3 games more than them. And
so you're making excuses for Real Madrid.
I'm not making excuses. I'm saying we should be better than that.
Staffy, I think shocking. Listen, you're entitled to think shocking, but in fairness, the majority of our first team, this is only their second game.
Yeah, but they played well against Arsenal. No, so when I give them praise against Arsenal, I have to give them criticism today. I'm just being fair.
And I do get you there. And look, I understand it. I also get where Cam's coming from. That shocking. I went online. I weren't really on Twitter during the first half too much, and I went on. And a lot of people were talking about our ball retention was bad, and I'm looking at it thinking, I swear we had more of the ball than Real Madrid. Went and checked the stats.
No, but we did give up the ball a lot, Terry. The frustrating part is that we were giving up in easy positions.
Okay, and I understand that, but I also, again, I'm not trying to say, well, they did it, so it's okay for us to. I saw them do it, and that's because both teams did well in terms of pressing each other and winning the ball back and hurrying each other. And I think that's where, listen, and I know you always want your own team to be better. You know, when I go out to a restaurant with my kids, if other people's kids are making noise, I don't notice it. If my kids even make a murmur, I'm like, shh, you disturb other people. When it's your own, like your own team or your own people or your own children or your own friends and family, you know, you're always more embarrassed or you're hypercritical of what they do, and I get it. I wouldn't necessarily say we were shocking today in those areas. I think the area that I would criticize us the most was the clinical edge in the final third. That bothered me a lot more today than any other area on the pitch, because we did have the majority of the ball. We created the openings. We just sometimes overrun it or didn't play the right ball, or the shot was a little bit weak. And that kind of frustrated me. And we should criticize that most definitely and say, right, this, on to the next game, let's improve in those areas. I think, though, that improves. And this is where it becomes like a catch-22 with what you're saying, Staffy. I don't think you're wrong, by the way, but you put it out. The manager tried something. It didn't work. The only time I'll become frustrated with today is if we keep trying it and it keeps failing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think what we learned today is we need that number 9 in. Yeah, I think you can play Rashford as a 9 when you're against the bottom half of the table teams, generally speaking, or at home in the Premier League. I just don't think you can do it against Real Madrids and teams like this. It's just so difficult for him. It really, really is. That isn't his game. He's just not his game at all.
One thing, Tom, was I was going to say is that, so what I was going to criticize us for is how toothless we were up front. Like I was talking to some of my friends in another chat about Antony, where I was just like, I would just love Antony to hit the net. Just hit the net.
He never hits the target, bro.
Like,
just hit the target.
Just a few times, like just hit the target, do that for me, and I'll be happy. Like, listen, all the other parts of the game are pretty sound at the moment, but just hit the target. Aaron Wan-Bissaka got skinned. You got absolutely skinned. The one thing, like, listen, there is at some point, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you've got to challenge your man. The amount of backing up he did, I was like, oh man, you can't just let Vinny run at you. It's never gonna work. I'm sorry. And we saw it. He just kept doing the backup thing. So there were definitely pieces of the game that bothered me. But what I can say is there's moments that I saw us moving forward. And when I think about the pieces like a Mount, when you add a Mount whose role is going to be very different, and he's going to have to really figure out how to work with this team. I think he had one of the best passes of the game, actually, that actually sent Garnacho wide open. And I didn't know he had that in his locker. And I was like, you know what? Nice. Good to see. Casemiro had a few line-breaking passes. You actually praised Varane. I had one problem with Varane, I would say, this game. And all I could think about was it really hurts that Kim will probably never play for United, because there was a few times when Varane was running with the ball, and instead of making the line-breaking pass, he put it to the side. And that bothered me, because I was like, listen, this is preseason, and you might as well, Varane, take your chances, do what you got to do. But I will say, overall, for me, I give the team like a 6.5 out of 10 today. That's how I look at it. I think we had lots of chances to score, surprisingly. Like, let's be honest, we did force the keeper into a couple saves. I can't look at this game and say we were terrible, because we weren't. We went toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the world today. We did look decent, and they played counter. Let's be honest. We always talk shit about people playing counterattacking football. Carlo was playing counterattacking football in that first half. Like, he was playing over our trap. That's what he was doing. He was hitting us on the break multiple times. I'm not mad about it.
I'll tell you what I was very positive about today's game was McTominay's performance, because we should be getting that 45 mil for him now. West Ham, get it done. He was running the show against the Real Madrid.
I really wanted him to score that. If he scored that, he would have been sold tomorrow.
The price goes up.
Goes up. He was so. But do you know what happened? Do you know why he didn't score? But this is the clinical edge situation. I think he had indecision. Do I play someone in, or do I go for goal? And as soon as he started second guessing himself, as soon as he did that, it weren't going to go in. I got some.